My dear brothers and sisters, let me tell you something about the weight we carry. Oh, how heavy it can be, the past, the pain, the wrongs done to us. They press against our shoulders, whisper in our ears, steal the joy from our laughter. We hold on, thinking if we release it, we are letting them win. But I say to you today, the true victory is not in remembering the hurt, it is in forgiving what we cannot forget. Forgiveness, my loves, is not pretending it didn't happen. It is not saying the wound didn't cut deep. No, it is standing tall despite it. It is choosing to unclench our fists, to loosen the chains, to set ourselves free. Because forgiveness is not for them, it is for you. It is how you reclaim your peace, how you step into the light, how you say, I will not be bound by this any longer. So today, let's walk together down this road of release. Let's talk about how to let go, how to allow Him, how to live with a heart unburdened. Because my dear ones, you deserve joy, you deserve peace, and you deserve the freedom that only forgiveness can bring. Oh, my dear ones, let me tell you something about forgiveness. Too often we mistake it for something we give away, something we offer to the ones who wronged us, like a gift wrapped in patience and tied with understanding. We think if we forgive, we are saying it's all right. What you did no longer matters. But I stand before you today to tell you, no, my loves, that is not what forgiveness is. It is not for them. It is for you. It is a gift you give yourself. It is the breath of fresh air when you have been suffocating under the weight of bitterness. It is the loosening of the rope that has been pulling tight around your soul. It is the breaking of chains that have bound your spirit to a past that can no longer serve you. We carry our wounds like stones in our pockets, thinking that if we hold on to them long enough, they will keep us safe, remind us never to be hurt again. But my dear hearts, those stones grow heavy. They weigh us down. They steal our joy. And the truth is, the person who hurt you, the one who wronged you, may not even care, may never apologize. They may sleep soundly at night while you toss and turn, trapped in the echo of old pain. So I ask you, who is truly suffering, who is truly bound? Not them, my dear ones. You. When we refuse to forgive, we do not imprison the other person, we imprison ourselves. We lock ourselves in a cell built from our own anger, from our own sorrow, from our own refusal to release what is already gone. We replay the hurt over and over again, as if keeping it alive will somehow make it right, as if our suffering will somehow even the score. But suffering is not justice. Suffering is not strength. And suffering is certainly not the path to peace. But forgiveness, now that is power. Forgiveness is standing tall and saying, I will not let this define me any longer. I will not be a prisoner of what has already passed. I will not drink the poison of resentment and expect it to harm anyone but myself. Forgiveness is looking in the mirror and whispering, I deserve freedom, I deserve joy, I deserve peace. And then choosing to step in that freedom. I know, my dear ones, I know some wounds cut deep. Some betrayals still sting when the wind blows just right. Some names still feel like fire on the tongue. And some memories still walk through your mind like uninvited guests. I will not tell you it is easy. I will not stand here and say, just let it go, as if it were as simple as setting down a glass of water. No, my loves, I know better. Some things sit heavy on the soul. Some things linger. Some things refuse to fade. But I will tell you this, each day you hold on to the pain is the day you give it power over you. Each moment you choose anger over peace is a moment lost, a moment stolen. And I do not want you to lose another moment to something that no longer deserves you. So what do you do, my dear ones? How do you forgive when the wound still aches? You start small. You wake up and say, today I will not let this pain dictate my joy. You breathe in and remind yourself, I deserve love. And I deserve peace. You loosen your grip little bit by little until one day, the weight is no longer there. One day you look back and realize you are free. And that is when you understand forgiveness was never about them. It was about you all along. Oh, my dear hearts, I know there are things we do not want to forget. Not because they are precious, but because they cut too deep to disappear. Some wounds do not simply fade. Some lessons come wrapped in pain so sharp that even when the years roll forward, the memory lingers like a shadow at dusk, stretching long, refusing to leave. And so we hold on, we say to ourselves, if I let this go, I might forget what it taught me. If I loosen my grip, I might be hurt again. But let me tell you something, my loves, there is a difference between remembering and reliving. There is a difference between carrying the lesson and carrying the weight of the wound. Too many of us have mistaken pain for wisdom. Too many of us have clutched our suffering like a sacred text, believing that if we keep it close, it will protect us from ever being broken again. But hear me when I say this, wisdom not born from suffering itself, but from what we choose to learn from it. Pain is a teacher, yes, but it was never meant to be a companion. Oh, I know the fear. I know what it is to believe that if you let go, if you loosen your grasp, the past might disappear as if it never happened. But my dear ones, hear me, you are not erasing it. You are not denying it. You are simply choosing to step forward without dragging the weight of it behind you. You can remember without carrying the hurt. You can honor the lesson without living inside the pain. Too often we wear our suffering like armor, thinking it makes us stronger, thinking it shields us from ever feeling that kind of sorrow again. But my love's armor is heavy. It keeps you safe, yes, but it also keeps you distant. It keeps love from reaching you, keeps peace from settling in your bones. And what good is surviving if you are too weighed down to dance? What good is remembering if all it does is steal your joy? You must learn to separate the wound from the wisdom. You must learn to hold on to the lesson but release the pain. Because every time you replay that hurt, every time you turn it over in your mind like a stone in your palm, you are not healing, you are reopening the wound. You are inviting it back into the present, letting it live and live and it steal from you once more. But my dear ones, the past has taken enough. Do not let it take your today. Do not let it take your laughter, your peace, your tenderness. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become because of it. And yes, some things will always be a part of you. Some names, some nights, some moments will never fade completely. But you are the one who decides what to do with them. You can let them weigh you down, keep you shackled to a life of resentment, a life of reliving the same sorrow again and again. Or you can rise. You can say, I will remember, but I will not be ruled by this. You can say, I will take the lesson, but I will leave the pain. Because, my dear ones, you were not meant to live inside your past. You were not meant to be a prisoner of what once was. You were meant to move forward, to grow, to expand, to love again, to breathe without sorrow pressing against your chest. And if you are brave enough, yes, brave enough to loosen your grip on the pain while holding on to the wisdom, you will find that your past no longer controls you. It no longer owns you. It simply becomes a chapter in the great story of who you are becoming. And that, my loves, is how you remember without being bound. That is how you carry the lesson, but not the weight. That is how you set yourself free. Oh, my dear hearts, how often we have been told that forgiveness is about letting someone off, about turning the other cheek, about pretending the wound does not ache. But I have lived long enough and I have seen too much to tell you any such thing. No, my loves, forgiveness is not about saying that what happened was right. It is not about denying the hurt, nor is it about excusing the one who caused it. Forgiveness is not about them at all. It is about you. It is about reclaiming what is yours. What has always been yours, your joy, your freedom. Pain has a way of settling into the bones, of weaving itself into the fabric of who we are, until we mistake it for something permanent, something we cannot live without. We wake up with it. We carry it in our chest like a stone. We dress ourselves in the weight of what was done to us, and we call it protection. We tell ourselves that if we let go, if we loosen our grip, we are letting them win. But hear me when I say this, holding on to pain does not make you strong. It makes you tired. It makes you heavy. It steals from you little by little until you are left with nothing but the ache of what was. And so I ask you, my dear ones, who truly wins when you refuse to let go? Who suffers when you choose anger over peace? Who loses when you clutch the memory of what they did? When you let it shape your days, your nights, your very breath? Not them, my loves, you. You are the one locked inside a past that cannot be changed. You are the one reliving a sorrow that should have no place in your tomorrow. You are the one whose joy is being swallowed by a wound that should have healed by now. Do not mistake forgiveness for weakness. Do not think that releasing the pain is the same as pretending it never happened. No, my dear ones, forgiveness is not erasure. Forgiveness is strength. Forgiveness is standing up and saying, I refuse to let this define me any longer. It is choosing to move forward even when the past still whispers. It is choosing to rise even when the weight tries to pull you down. It is saying, I will not be bound by this hurt. I will not carry this burden another day. Oh, I know there are some wounds that do not fade easily. Some betrayals still sting when the night gets quiet. Some names, some faces, some memories sit heavy in the soul, refusing to disappear. And I will not stand here and tell you that forgiveness is simple. It is not. It is a choice you must make again and again. It is a road you must walk step by step, even when the journey feels impossible. But my loves, what is the alternative? Will you carry this sorrow for the rest of your days? Will you let it shape you into something bitter, something hard, something unrecognizable? You were not meant to live a life of anger. You were not meant to be a prisoner of what someone else did to you. You were meant to be free. You were meant to wake up with lightness in your heart, to laugh without the weight of yesterday pressing against your chest. And if you choose to let go, to release the pain while still holding on to the lesson, you will find that you have not lost anything at all. No, my loves, you will have gained something greater than revenge, greater than resentment. You will have gained yourself. And that is how you take back what was always yours. That is how you reclaim your joy. That is how you set yourself free. Oh, my dear hearts, there is a kind of suffering that does not live in the body, but in the soul. A weight that presses on the spirit, slow and relentless, tightening its grip with each passing day. It is the weight of unforgiveness, the burden of carrying a past that no longer serves you, the heaviness of a wound you refuse to release. And I have seen too many people, good people, strong people, walking through life with chains they do not have to wear. Chains made not of iron, but of memories of anger, of sorrow that refuses to fade. We tell ourselves that holding on to pain gives us power. We say, if I let this go, if I forgive, then I am saying what they did was all right. But my loves, hear me when I say this, holding on does not make you strong. Carrying bitterness does not make you powerful. It only makes you tired. It only keeps you tied to a moment that is already past, a moment that cannot be undone, no matter how tightly you grip it. Oh, I know how the mind works. It tells you that if you replay the hurt, if you go over it just one more time, you will somehow make sense of it. You will somehow find justice in the remembering. But my dear ones, justice is not found in suffering. There is no peace in reliving pain. There is no freedom in refusing to let go. You must understand this: when you hold on to resentment, you do not imprison the one who wronged you. You imprison yourself. They may be far from you now. They may have moved on, never once looking back. But you are still there, still standing in the wreckage of what they did, still chained to a past that should no longer have power over you. And I ask you, my loves, how long will you let them keep you there? How long will you allow what happened to control what comes next? There is a door standing before you, a door to freedom, to peace, to a life unburdened. But you cannot walk through it with bitterness on your back. You cannot move forward while dragging the weight of yesterday. You must lay it down, you must release it, and know it will not happen all at once. Some pain is stubborn. Some sorrow does not leave easily. But each day you can loosen your grip. Each day you can decide to take one step further away from the prison of your past. And do not mistake this for weakness. Do not believe that letting go means you are letting them win. No, my dear ones, it means you are winning. It means you have chosen yourself. It means you have decided that your future is worth more than your anger. That your peace is worth more than your pain. That you deserve to be free. And that is how you break the chains. That is how you step into the life that has been waiting for you. That is how you set yourself free. Oh, my dear hearts, healing is not something that happens all at once. It does not come to you in the stillness of a single night, does not wash over you like a sudden rain, does not lift from your shoulders in one swift motion. No, my loves, healing is slow. Healing is a choice, a journey, a road you must walk with patience, with tenderness, with the understanding that some days will be lighter than others, that some wounds take time to close. And that is all right. That is as it should be. Too often we tell ourselves that we must be over it by now, that the past should no longer have its hands on us, that we should wake up whole just because time has passed. But time alone does not heal. Time alone does not mend the places that were broken. It is what you do with the time that shapes your healing. It is the way you speak to yourself when the old pain resurfaces. It is the way you decide to rise, even when the weight still lingers. There are wounds that live deep, wounds that were not just carved into flesh, but into spirit. And my dear ones, when the spirit is wounded, it takes more than time to mend it. It takes grace. It takes forgiveness, not just for those who hurt you, but for yourself. It takes the courage to look at what has been and say, I will not allow this to harden me. I will not let this steal my tenderness. I will not become a reflection of the hurt I have known. You see, healing does not mean you forget. It does not mean the past vanishes, nor does it mean you will never feel the ache again. But it does mean that the ache will no longer own you. It means that little by little you reclaim yourself. That piece by piece you take back your joy, your laughter, your softness. That day by day you learn to live with what was without letting it define what will be. Oh, I know, my loves, I know how easy it is to believe that if you let go of the pain, you are letting go of the lesson. But wisdom does not live in suffering. Wisdom lives in what you choose to do with it. Will you carry it forward as a burden, or will you weave it into something beautiful? Will you let it build walls around your heart, or will you let it teach you how to love better, live freer, breathe deeper? And hear me, oh, hear me, now your healing is yours. No one else can tell you how long it should take. No one else can say when the pain should fade. No one else can walk this road for you, but you must walk it. You must be willing to take the steps, to open your hands, to trust that peace is waiting on the other side of all this sorrow. And that is how healing begins. That is how you turn wounds into wisdom. That is how you rise. Oh, my dear hearts, there comes a time when you must decide that your life is worth more than what tried to break you. There comes a moment when you must say, I am more than this pain. I am more than what was done to me. I am more than the sorrow I have carried. Because you see, my loves, no one else can make that choice for you. No one else can set you free. No one else can pull you out of the shadows of your past and place you in the light of your future. That work that's sacred, difficult, necessary work belongs to you. You cannot wait for an apology that may never come. You cannot sit at the edge of your pain, hoping that one day the past will rewrite itself and give you the justice you deserve. No, my loves, the past is set. What has been has already been. And no amount of anger, no amount of sorrow, no amount of waiting will change it. But what can change, what must change, is what you do with it. Too many of us have been living with our feet in two worlds, one in the past, clinging to old wounds and the other reaching for a future we cannot grasp, because our hands are still full of yesterday. But my loves, you cannot move forward while looking backward. You cannot step into joy while dragging pain behind you. You must make the choice to step fully into what is waiting for you. You must decide that you are worthy of peace, that you are deserving of a life that is not defined by what hurt you, but by what you have chosen to become in spite of it. And I know it is not easy. It is not easy to lay down what has been a part of you for so long. It is not easy to let go of a sorrow that has shaped you. But my dear ones, you are not your wounds. You are not the mistakes, the betrayals, the heartbreaks. You are not the anger you have carried, nor the fear that has whispered to you in the dark. You are something far greater. You are the survivor. You are the overcomer. You are the one who has risen when you could have stayed down. Oh, my loves, the world will tell you to hold on to the pain, to let it fuel you, to let it be the fire that keeps you strong. But hear me now, pain is no foundation for a life well lived. Bitterness builds no home worth living in. Anger may keep you standing for a time, but it will never let you soar. If you wish to rise, truly rise, you must do so with lightness in your heart. You must release what no longer serves you. You must gather your courage, gather your strength, and step fully, boldly, completely into the life that is waiting for you. And that is how you reclaim yourself. That is how you rise into the fullness of who you were meant to be. That is how you set yourself free.